Hello and welcome to Drakewind Falls. I'm Drake Horton James, having a lovely Saturday evening here with four of my favorite people, and we will be having part 6 of whatever happened to the Drake Wardens of tomorrow tonight here on twitch.tv/known world united, where we stream it every other Saturday with new ongoing D&D 5e adventures here in the wonderful settings of Drakewind. I'll have everybody go around and introduce themselves, tell a little bit about what their character's been up to during the last little bit, and then we will jump right in. Starting with Nate and proceeding in counterclockwise order as we want to do.
All right, I am Nate, your D&D ringer, playing Horton Abernathy, Owl and Wizard. Recently, I've been up to homework. Also, I had some sort of weird dream about the Wardens.
True story.
It's true, you did. I'm Warrior. I play Highland. Highland's a very chill Minotaur. He's a Draconics bloodline sorcerer. Recently, he gave it to her. He had a dinner date, I guess, kind of. And now he's going to go have a secretive conversation full of earth-shattering revelations or whatever.
I am Christy. I am playing Fern. Last time, I tried to prove I was magical, and that did not go super great at first, but pulled it out at the end. I have a new best friend, Drake buddy, named Nico, and he's perfect, and I love him very much, even though we only just met. And what else did we do last time? We kind of weirdly talked about my grandma.
Totally not awkward.
It was totally not awkward. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've just been away for like a day.
I'm Joel. I'm playing Becker Stokes, the cleric / fighter. Last time I made a shoulder holster for Horton's crystal. I experienced some work-life balance, and now need to see if I can successfully navigate my way back to the lodgings for the night.
There's nothing more important than work-life balance. And hey, I'm James. I'll be your DM for this evening. Drakewind Falls is a setting that we have created in Microscope by Ben Robbins. So if you like the world that you see unfolding before you, check out all of his games and follow him at Lame Mage on Twitter. Check him out at lamemage.com. And as always, you can follow us on Twitter at Known World Unite, or check games out here ongoing. Lots of beautiful Dungeons and Dragons, other video games, and assorted role-playing madness. Mondays, Saturdays, Sundays, Thursdays. Check the schedule and check your head. Last episode, we had guests aplenty, dinner guests. In fact, pretty much everybody had a little something, maybe with the exception of Fern, in terms of a nice dinner. I mean, we had work-life balance with Becker.
Yeah, nobody fed me, so that's cool.
But you got to hang out with Nico, you know.
I did get to hang out with Nico. I'm probably hungry though.
About some of our backgrounds, Fern's family, a bit about Horton's family, and some of the things that transpired before and immediately after the revelation, as well as a geography lesson from our good friend, the professor, hanging out with Highland, having the quintessential evening dinner at the Beacon, prepared most definitely not by Ferdinand Moody, but his incredibly esteemed chef. And then a little work-life balance for Becker. And we'll see how that goes. You know, you get to let the caged bird fly if you want to spread his wings. And that's what we're all about here, Drakewind Academy. So tonight we're going to get the gang back together. Everybody's been out kind of on their own for the last little bit. But we have Becker and Highland hanging out at the Beacon. Horton at home helping with homework, and the new maths just the new maths just
It's hard stuff.
a little too tired to make some of that happen. But we'll see how it all goes. Kicking things off, Wreckety wreck yourself, Joel. Wreckety wreck yourself. Oh, hey, before I forget, you can go check out this sweet new merch. Yes, that's me.
So good.
Appa, Your King Ginger, Diamond Dave, New Money Matt, the whole Core 4, Tiny Mang Tuesdays at Dave's Redbubble account. Also, I think double that merch. Pow! Now onto Drakewind. We got to get our sweet merch up. Get some of those medium soft roll filler ups. So Highland, you have yet another evening rendezvous. Set up.
Rendezvous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Ron,
How's everybody feeling? I'm interested to hear kind of how our characters are processing all of this. I mean, Horton, you just saw after doing a little magic, actually some really kind of impressive magic. As your grandmother said, being at the academy now and being one of the smartest little owlin wizards of your age, you performed. Well, why don't you tell everybody kind of what you performed and kind of how he is processing what he saw.
Well, I did cast Identify on the gem and saw basically the last little bit of what happened with the Drake Wardens when they were, I don't know, just so maliciously backstabbed, I suppose you could say.
Every time you say that, we just get this like deadpan look from Christy. Makes me very, very pleased with myself. So that's what really counts, huh?
So yeah, I've got that going, and I'm real tired, just like always. I can't catch a break. I'm exhausted again.
Well, I will
Your
say
grandma
this,
told you to go to bed earlier.
True.
you can wrap up after helping all of your siblings go through some of their new maths. Not super successful at it, but you're here to help, and after all, you had a pretty big first day. So, Horton, I'm going to say this for the first time in a while. You're free to sleep.
Excellent. I will take that long rest.
Excellent. Becker, you are finding your way back after having probably one of the most kind of employment positive meetings of your career. Dwarves not always known for their compassion when it comes to work, but every once in a while we get pleasantly surprised. So you've been told to take the time that you need to check in, and that they will check in with you to make sure that your schedule is accommodating to the needs of your service and your own kind of personal and mental well-being. And so you're free to head back. You have been told by Ferdinand Moody that you could stay at the Beacon. He has rooms available, and also should you really opt for floor over accommodations, you can do that, or you could just sleep in a bed. So you carouse it up with your dwarven brethren and other folks from the work crew. But are you going to head back? Do you have other things to attend to? What are you up to?
He's gonna head back.
Okay. So You're heading back. This isn't too far away from the Leaky Stein where you were before. You were hanging out at the Burning Hammer, which is it's a dwarf bar, and throwing back a couple ales. You did have some ale and food earlier at the Beacon, which as Highland so astutely noted with his eyes, this is a good place to eat and drink. As you're heading back, make me a perception check.
Okay. 13.
It's quieter than usual late at night. You're pretty attuned to kind of what's going on as you've been here a pretty long time at this point. But you feel like this kind of sector of the falls is usually a little more boisterous this late at night. But it seems more quiet than kind of typical to your feeling. I mean, you're a couple ales in, but you're also Becker fucking stoked. So
yeah,
that ain't no thing. I mean, it's not like you're an owlin that hasn't slept enough. So
that's true. Is it are hackles raised?
If I would say if you have hackles, they would be raised a bit. Yeah, you're not. There's nothing like this that you've kind of experienced in this part of the city. It's just usually like people are still out carousing. It's just quieter than kind of typical.
Okay. In that case, I think Becker's gonna just kind of pause.
Okay.
In his walk and give a good 360. Like, who's stupid enough to try to mug me?
Yeah. You want to make an investigation check or a perception check?
Yeah. I'm confident I see nothing. The 8 probably doesn't.
Yeah, it's you're this is like the longer the four of you play together, the mean roll is slowly which is fun for D&D. Okay, so as you are kind of continuing on walking along, you notice that the lamp lights that are usually lit, kind of moving from this kind of quarter of the falls towards the beacon, it's starting to get darker as well as you're moving along, and you can hear the wind kind of blowing through the falls, and one of the kind of trademark kind of experiences of being in the falls is this kind of like soft whistling that you can usually hear as the winds blow through the Wing Whisper Mountains. It's kind of part of what the original settlers kind of noticed when they kind of named this range. That kind of as you're in the kind of higher altitudes of this place, there's always this kind of whispering whistle that is present, and it's much more present than typical in this space and kind of in the falls. As you can continue to walk along, why don't you make me another perception check?
Okay. I'm also going to whistle harmony to what I hear happening.
Excellent.
Because
Awesome.
it's clearly just me all alone on this perfectly safe street.
Perfect.
James rolled a 9.
I'm 9. Excellent. Well, Becker, not maybe not the most harmonically in tune, is whistling a little off key. Like maybe it's the ale, maybe it's the kind of finely tuned dwarven ear that's a little tinny from years of working the forge and the steel. But you continue on pretty unaffected. Nothing is kind of raising your ires. You're just kind of moving along through life, feeling good, feeling like, I feel very valued in my job, and I'm glad that I came here to be of service because normally I might feel like other people that I'm working with are not treated the same as I'm treated. Whether that means being an outsider from the falls or a dwarf, or just a young whippersnapper, as dwarves go. But you feel like validated by the experience of voicing your truth into the world and having it received in a compassionate fashion. And so, you're just continuing on, and as you continue to go on, the whistle continues, but you find yourself starting to walk into a kind of deeper darkness, and we'll pop over and see what Fern's up to. Fern, are you headed back? Are you wrapped up your kind of?
I've wrapped up my conversation.
And you've just for folks that are catching up, Fern just had a conversation with Dockland Bright River, one of the Council of 12 here in Drakewind Falls, who kind of tested your abilities. You studied kind of thinking that a lot of your traits and kind of magical properties coming from your mother's side of the family. But as Dockland kind of investigates that and asks you to kind of do some of the things that you've kind of been taught, she recognizes some of the gifts of your grandmother's side of the family, and that bloodline of magic and mastery, as well as some of the It took you a little bit to pick up on it due to your magnificent rolls last episode, but some of the trappings of a Klashtar, which has some psionic abilities. So, you are staying at the beacon, heading back to the beacon. Any kind of last interactions with Doc or Nico or any of?
I feel like we just wrapped it up, and she was like, "Take Nico. We'll let you know.
Don't be too showy. We'll be in contact."
Yeah,
she did give you a sending
don't call
stone.
us. We'll call you. She gave me a sending stone.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Don't put it in your back pocket.
I'm not gonna do that. I feel like we're probably gonna head back to town because we were not invited to stay the night here, and I'm very hungry.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So you can kind of head back, as Doc says, better to take the back roads and not, if Nico is coming with, to not be too flashy. There aren't a whole lot of drakes that are in the falls, and certainly Nico could stay with Doc for the time being if need be. But if you're going to bring him with, she advises to kind of stick to the back roads and not be too seen, because they're strange times that we're living in, and that kind of.
Does she not feel like I should take him with? Because I thought she more or less was like, "Hey."
So she said, "Well, make me a history check." We'll put this on Fern instead of Christy.
Oh God.
Or both.
That's a 7.
We're keeping it hot.
Always.
she said when you said, "How am I supposed to learn about all of this?" She gave you the Yoda like poke with the stick in your heart and poke with it in the head,
Right.
and then like gesture to Nico as well. So I mean, that could just be the ongoing love between
true.
man
true.
and beast,
Well,
or it could be
yes.
it could
I
be
mean,
whatever
if
you
Nico
make
is
of it.
willing to stay here, if he will be safer here, he should stay here.
Okay.
But if he's like very insistent that he needs to come with me, like he is a magical goddamn dragon, and I'm not going to argue.
That is true. I mean, he has certainly taken a shining to you. I think that well, I don't know. Make me either an insight or animal handling check.
Oh, I'm probably equally terrible at those things.
Perfect.
Oh no, actually, my insight's pretty good.
I was gonna say it's mostly been falling to your rolls and not your bonuses.
It's true. Oh boy, that's a 12.
So yeah, I mean, just judging by kind of Nico's interest, he's really kind of like poking around and like wanting to come with you.
Does he have a way to like make himself look less like a drake? Is that seems like the sort of survival mechanism that a drake may have created or come upon?
A very interesting question.
I mean, I'll ask Doc too, because seemingly that's a thing she would know.
Yeah,
she's been.
Doc lets you know that he mostly kind of stays out of the public eye, but maybe you could use some of your magic and see.
My magic doesn't really do that, but
well,
at some
why
point.
Why don't we try? Make me an Arcana check.
We can try. All right. Oh, that's a 23.
All right. So your loving Drake Nico, which looks very much like this guy here. You concentrate, and Doc kind of walks you through kind of the process of this spell, and asks you to kind of focus on your connection with Nico, and as you kind of focus kind of more and more, that kind of gas that had been kind of you had kind of hewn together, and that she had kind of like solidified to kind of look into in those sparks. You see little sparks like starting to kind of leap kind of off, and as those kind of begin to leap off, the fog starts to dissipate over Nico, and the kind of beast that emerges, you can see like Nico through it, but you feel like there's some sort of like glamour, almost like that kind of cloud of fog is kind of obscuring his kind of true self. And Doc, kind of basically says that for kind of the everyday person, unless they're looking, Nico will appear to them much more pedestrian than the kind of magnificent beast that he is. But that is to say, be cautious.
So what does he look like to other people?
He's basically going to look like a large hound.
Okay.
So I'll see if I can grab a picture here. If you know a like a Mabari warhound, let me see. Here we go. I just want to make you large. Here we go. Boop. There we go. He's gonna look a little like this.
Oh, what a good boy.
He looks a little more blue. Like even with the kind of magics, you could kind of see, and as Doc is kind of helping you with this, like you can tell that she is kind of like, at first he looks really like this, and then as you start to kind of manipulate it, it's still kind of in place, but a little more tinged blue. Not quite as strong as kind of what she's doing, but looks like a mighty big pupper doggo.
Cool.
Cool.
Do people know the Wardens Drake's names?
It's been 50
Like
years.
it's been enough of time that I don't know that would still be common knowledge, but it was also like a very big deal. So maybe.
Yeah. I mean, so one of the things that we found out that isn't necessarily, kind of common knowledge per se is that outside of Nico, the other Drake Wardens were not like really well known, right? Like they were potential like inheritors of the mantle, but although they were champions, they were like of a field of kind of individuals that then were chosen to represent. So the understanding was that these drakes, really until you get into a kind of very advanced level of magic, were tied to the kind of life of the Wardens. And so the fact that Nicola came back to the falls is not something that's common knowledge. It's one of the reasons why Doc has really hidden him.
So I guess like the purpose of my question is like, would continuing to call him Nico like raise any red flags for people, or is that just like that's just a name?
No, I don't think so. I mean, unless, well, I'll say this, right? Like, unless like someone is specifically kind of looking and is probably magically inclined enough to be like, oh, that dog kind of looks like a drake, with some sort of disguise.
Like you do.
As one does. Yeah.
That's fine.
I think that for the casual observer and just generally, no one would kind of give it a second thought. They would probably be more inclined to be like, that's a really big dog. I don't want that really big dog coming in my establishment than being like, hey, are you secretly hiding the long forgotten Drake companion of the Drake Warden that betrayed the falls and revealed us to the world?
Right. Well, and it wasn't even so much like the revealing him as it was like, is that just kind of like not a name people use anymore because it's associated with the betrayal? Or like, did people not really even know that was Lady Fanlin's dragon's name?
I would say that they probably know, but again, kind of 50 years on, there's been a lot of emigration away from the falls. There's been a lot of change and the kind of volume of people and places as we kind of built in the kind of microscope history. The kind of sheer number of people that have come to the falls that weren't there before would not, I don't think would have that kind of knowledge. I think that is more. I think that if the council would probably know. I think that the question then is how much of the council already knows.
Sure.
And so kind of thinking about it in that fashion, it's mostly going to be elders in the community that would have that kind of specialized knowledge. But yeah, no, I think if you were just like calling your dog Nico, like I don't think that would be. I don't think it would cause a kind of everyday problem for you.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah. All right.
Cool. All right. So you've kind of gone through that. This is something that you're going to need to cast each day to kind of maintain the glamour. And so if you can put on your character sheet that at the beginning of each day, in order to maintain this, basically every 24 hours, you have to kind of tap into this. What are your spell slots? You have sorcery points, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to cost you 1 sorcery point each day.
Cool.
Also, I love having sorcerers in the party because sorcerer points are so interesting to me. It's one of those things I've never really like played hard as a sorcerer, but there's so many cool mechanisms for like multi-classing and recovering sorcery points and anyway. So if anybody's watching and they played sorcerers, let us know, because I'm super fascinated to see kind of how this all plays out. In addition to like all of the groovy stuff that Fern can do in general. So okay. Becker is making his way back. Horton is having it. Horton, how you sleeping, buddy? How are you dreaming? What are you dreaming about?
No dreams, just sleep. He's had enough dreams.
Has he?
I hope so.
Okay. Becker, you continue to make your way back. You kind of continue to be like pretty aware of what's going on, but nothing kind of is assaulting you
It's just
outside
dark.
of the kind of strangeness of it just being quiet. Highland, what a wonderful evening.
Pretty good evening, yeah.
Got to spend time talking about hometown. Got to spend some time walking through a little bit of the map of the kingdom and talking about your folks with the professor, and then a little sending stone, ongoing sending stone, communication, miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
And an invitation for later that evening.
That's right.
So Ardod has moved on, headed back after. Man, what a meal! What a meal! You had your fantastic sampler platter, and Ferdinand pretty pleased with himself. Making it happen for everybody there. You're able to kind of help out with Moody as the evening's winding down. There's a couple other guests that are staying at the Beacon, but
Sure.
not kind of any busier than everything. A lot of the people that were coming in for beginning of term for Spring 502, families of students and things like that, getting people settled from traveling from around the continent have started to kind of make their departures as classes have started. So it's quieting down a little bit. And as you're kind of finishing up, you see Becker pop in. Fern, can you tell me how you are getting back to the Beacon? And are you just kind of like walking in with your sweet boy, or what's the plan of arrival for coming back to?
I feel like we're just gonna walk back to town.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably can't ride him anymore now that he's not a Drake.
Yeah. Well, I mean, might look a little strange, but I mean, hey, gnomes do it all the time. Goblins do it all the time. There are dwarves do it all the time. They're big old mastiffs.
It's true.
One of my favorite things. I've always wanted to have that, but ever since I had a war pony and he got mercilessly slaughtered by another betrayer.
What happened?
Dolores. So sad. Okay, so you head back. Highland, Becker kind of comes in, looking like, man, he looks like a rejuvenated person. Like, he likes the work he does. He's good at the work he does, but he doesn't always feel valued. Like he feels like he's making contributions, but sometimes he just needs someone to listen to what he's saying, and he looks listened to. Highland, he looks listened to. Yes, good. Just shortly thereafter, Becker sits down. You pour him another ale. You guys kind of catch up a little bit. Fern walks in and has this absolute heckin' doggo with her. And Ferdinand kind of like pops his head out to like see how things are going. Is just like seeing who came in. Is like, that's a big dog.
Yeah, it is. Fern,
It's my new friend.
did you get a dog?
I did.
Okay, that's cool. Like, just
His name is Neil.
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 Okay,
Sorry,
Neil.
Neil.
sure.
Yeah.
Look at these. It's like his arms strong.
Super strong. He could beat you up.
Probably could. I
Oh,
mean,
God.
I wouldn't even fight a dog. So yeah, if he wanted to, I'd probably.
I mean,
just
I
let-
wouldn't either.
Yeah. Well,
He's a good boy, though.
I mean, it seems like it. Highland will like come around and do the like back of his hand thing and like, can I pet Neil?
I mean, I'll
Well,
look at
Neil, can
Neil and see if he's good with that.
Can I pet you, Neil?
Make me an animal handling check, Fern.
I'm really not good at that, so super good that I get to do this all the time. Oh no. That's a 5.
You're like, yeah, step right up, man.
Okay. Yeah. Highland's like, hey, Neil.
Neil like walks over and kind of like gives you a big old sniff and then like licks your hand a little bit, and when he does, like you get a little shock.
Well, static. It's this robe. It gets a lot of static in it.
I mean, between that and the slippers, I never thought about that. You're probably
You're
very
constantly electrically
steady.
static
charged.
machine. Yeah.
Mhm. He doesn't really shuffle. He steps, confidently, but he gets the
You can
shock.
only step so high in slippers though, otherwise you're gonna lose one.
Yeah, and I don't even have feet.
It's true.
Everyone's like, how does he keep those on? Magic. Yeah. All right. Yeah, he'll keep petting Neil for a minute.
Beautiful.
Neil's
So
into
yeah,
it.
you pet
He's-
Neil, and
he's not
Neil
mad
is
about
like,
it.
Neil's pretty into it. Make me an animal handling check, Alan.
Sure. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Well, it's okay. It's 13.
Yeah, like you and Neil are getting along. You've never met a Mabari Warhound, but you get the kind of feeling like like maybe he wants to get my own place.
I'm never gonna get my own place.
No, I'm gonna mooch forever.
I have my own place.
I love it.
It's not-
Also, Horton, that's an amazing idea. Free shocking grass. Well, if you guys don't have inspiration, we're throwing it out like candy tonight because it's been a couple interesting episodes in terms of all the role playing, and I gotta say, listening back to the previous episode, there is a kind of magic about how all of you are interacting with the world, which is lovely to see. So Horton, you are dreaming the dream of owls, which is mostly it's mostly just math at this point.
Math
Everything
and mice. That's what
floating around.
Horton cares about.
You had a kind of a number of visions, and as you continue to sleep, you're kind of replaying some of those events, the interaction between Deej and Kimmy, and the thing that kind of keeps recurring in your sleep is that crystal starting out, kind of rather kind of massive, and then as Deej continues to kind of move through the continent, places that you've studied, places that you've gone on trips with your family, you kind of continue to see that kind of spinning in her hand, and it's slowly kind of winnowing down to the kind of size in which it was extracted from Kimmy's maw and kind of put in. And this crystal, you kind of feel its presence as something that is communicative. It's not, it's not a static or isolated artifact. It's something that is kind of speaking, and you can hear it in your dream, kind of guiding Deej. And as you noticed during your kind of vision, when you identified the object, Deej, the more that she communicates with it, the kind of further aflung her kind of grip on reality and just in general, kind of the cohesion of her isolation, it really kind of wears on her. So other than that, you get a full night's rest. You kind of continue to replay the kind of parts of your vision, but you are no longer exhausted. And when you wake up, you can kind of feel the presence of the crystal, which is in the kind of harness that Becker has crafted for you. The crystal itself, you can sense as a kind of vibration, and the vibration is rather robust when you first kind of wake, as you're kind of experiencing those dreams, and then as you kind of come back into consciousness, you feel that that kind of vibration kind of slow down to just kind of like a small kind of rumbling. But you can definitely feel its presence more keenly than you could when you first got it, and certainly before Becker went through the process of creating that holder for you. So Becker and Fern, anything that you want to do before you guys hit the sack?
I don't think so.
I feel
Right,
pretty
so-
okay.
So
I
Fern,
definitely actually want to eat. That's a lie.
okay. You ask for something to eat, and Fernand's like, "Oh yeah, I got something right back here. Hold on one second, I'll check with the chef." And he walks back.
Oh
he's just
no!
like, "Hey, what else we got back here?" And then you like see him walk in, and back. You hear him talking, and then you also hear someone who sounds a lot like him talking, only with like maybe a bad accent.
Oh, no.
And then he walks back out, and he's got two bowls. One that's pretty normal, and then one that's pretty large. They both have filler up in them. In yours, there's a number of really like nicely diced up like crostini, almost into like croutons, like crumbled across the top. And you see that there's some maybe slightly burnt cheese, but it looks like he tried doing a little something special with some of the previous
carbs on top of carbs. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. And then the other one is also a bowl of filler up, a lot larger, and it looks like there's some trimmings that are on there, and he puts a bowl down on the floor for Neil the Warhound, and you can tell Neil's like stoked about this. Like, you get the feeling that Doc is not a kind of stingy or uncaring owner, but usually probably not giving Neil a whole lot of human food. So this is a treat. You can see, and and feel that kind of connection with your with both the crystal and with the kind of the not concentration, but the kind of connection with your kind of glamour that you've put on Neil. That he's when he gets excited, he kind of crackles. Like the air kind of around him, you can kind of feel that that kind of charge, and you give him a big pat on the head, and Neil's a happy buddy. He's made a new friend in Ferdinand, and Ferdinand gives him some scratches, and
love scratches.
Yeah, and then he says, "Well, I got to get back in the kitchen to let the chef know." Get started on tomorrow morning's filler up.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Give my compliments to the chef. This is delicious.
Oh well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I definitely will pass that along.
Wonderful.
And you like hear him walking back, like, "Hey, real good job tonight. You're really earning that wage, Murdernan." Oh crap. And so he heads back. Becker, you can finish your ale, head up. Fern, similarly, if you want to head up. Highland, you've kind of helped out, doing your part as you're typically a helpful guy around here as part of your kind of room and board.
Mm-hmm.
And you all head back up. Highland, you have a certain date to fulfill, but Becker and Fern, if you don't have anything else, you can also sleep away and have a long rest if you'd like, unless there's anything else that you want to accomplish before sleepy time.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
So long rest on both of your behalfs. Highland, you have a number of stones that look incredibly similar. Unfortunately, the same challenge as your father in terms of the number of stones. But you keep a little bit better track of what they look like, and you're able to pull out the stone that you were kind of speaking on earlier. And whenever you're ready, you were instructed to make contact, but when you asked how am I supposed to know who to call, you didn't get a response.
He'll just since it's usually the one for his dad, he'll just click it and say, "Well, about to go to bed, all alone, just me in here. Hope you have a good night, Dad. Love you."
You get back a message that says, "Had such a wonderful dinner. I'm so happy that you have returned to the Falls and are making your way in the world. We couldn't be more proud of you."
Oh.
And I made it under 25 that time. Listening back to last episode, when I got through and I had to like stop mid-sentence, and I was like, "No, that kind of sounds like his dad."
Mm-hmm.
So you put the sending stone down on your bedside table and just kind of sit there, kind of staring at it a little bit, and you see the kind of fire in your little hearth in your room spark a bit and turn blue before the sending stone itself starts to rise up off of your bedside table and start to kind of slowly spin around. And as it begins to spin around, you see it start to glow, and it starts to kind of slowly kind of shift from being solid into almost like kind of a mercurial liquid. and a small figure, as it kind of sits down, stands on your bedside table, looking very much like a fierce dragonborn warrior. And they address you and says, "Good evening, Highland."
Other little guy.
I see so much of your parents in you. They must be so proud.
Does he look like the right? Is he a crystal dragonborn?
He this is Terry.
Okay, Highland's never met Terry, so
Yeah.
he's kind of guessing.
Yeah. So if you want to describe Terry to the listeners and the rest of the party, and maybe a little bit about him.
Sure. Terry is the shorthand for Terrafactus bolsivosteros, who is one of the Drake Wardens who was involved in the betrayal. Although he wasn't a betrayer, he was a betrayee. He was a clan member of Bolsivosteros, who is the dragon that lives and founded Bolstros. Terry, since this happened, has kind of been on a mission to figure out WTF happened there and rectify it as best he can. He is a very high level ranger. He is a crystal dragonborn. He's a little prickly, he's a little stiff. But that comes from a sense of honor rather than him just being uptight. And
if I remember correctly, he had some very solid, stern dad energy.
He has big dad energy for sure. Big disappointed dad energy, no doubt. He has a big, very ornate bow, and a very elegant quiver. Very nice, really nice armor, very well kept. Everything about him looks put together, which is in sharp contrast to Highland.
So as this kind of crystal dragonborn kind of is standing there, kind of the transmogrified kind of entity of your standing stone, he kind of says that I know that there's a lot of questions of what happened, and some of them I have answers to, and some of them I'm still seeking out. But you should know that the Drake Wardens still protect the Falls and are endeavoring in our way to unravel what has happened, and find out how we can right what has been wronged and how we can recover that which has been lost. He kind of stands up, and you see him kind of hop down off your nightstand and walk over towards the fire, which is still kind of burning blue. And you see him kind of walk directly into the flame. And when he does that, you see the kind of flames kind of pop up. And in the flames, you see a small blue crystal shard that is spinning around and says, "I've held on to this as long as I've been able to, and it has allowed me the comfort of remaining strong when others have faltered. As we've tried to unravel what happened those decades ago, it's been important for us to maintain contact with the Falls and the council, and those that would protect and continue to guide what is good about that community. And although we were prepared for this, we would never have imagined what has transpired. But while we continue to ask the questions, we need to understand the absence of the Drakes in the Falls and safeguard their return before someone else finds them. And he steps back out, and you see you see kind of the crystal spinning around, and kind of a hand emerge and like grab the crystal, and you see this kind of small crystalline dragonborn like stand, like kind of like begin to kind of like grow up to full size of Terry, and it's this kind of spectral image that is holding the actual crystal, Terry's crystal, and he walks over and places it in your hand and says, I need you to bear this burden now and help us understand the other part of our quest, and that is to find the Drakes and understand why they have abandoned the Falls, so that we might safeguard them. Because as we have learned over the last 50 years, there are forces conspiring to do what they always did before the Falls was revealed, and that is to end the presence of the Drakes in this world. And you feel it kind of in your hand, and this is even though it's been kind of like spinning around, you can feel it as it's spinning around in your hand, and it's weighty. Like this, it feels like holding a small kind of either kind of orb or like kind of bearing in your hand. There's a kind of weight to it, and he says, I'm sure that you have many questions, so let's talk.
Yeah, well, what? Why? Why me? Why? I look. The dean just had me go because I was around. I think. Why would you give this to me? You're like legendary warrior, and I'm just a guy.
We were all prepared from
Really
a very
personal.
young age to accept the burden and responsibility of these crystals and the privilege that came with them. And with that privilege came a hubris to not understand the absolute power that they wielded, or how they could become too much of a burden to bear, and putting these burdens of an entire place and an entire race of creatures on the backs of 5 individuals, no matter how strong those backs were or how well tested, was a failure. Sorry, there was a small spider on my shoulder. That scared the shit out of me. And so I can continue to be that champion out in the world answering these questions, but I cannot protect the falls from those who conspire against it and find where the drakes have gone at the same time. And so it's often the one who is not seeking the burden that should be the one to carry it, because they're the ones that will be unaccustomed to the obligation. And I feel like it's your time to rise, Highland.
I'm not even from here, man.
Well, if the drakes were hiding somewhere in the falls, perhaps we'd choose someone else. But you
Ooh.
are an adventurous soul that I hear has become quite a proficient tour guide.
Well,
And
yeah.
though you may not look to lead, you do look to help others discover. And that's what we need now.
yeah, but I
We
mean,
don't need warriors.
what do I do if the murder ninjas come back? They beat the shit out of us. Like it was you, wasn't it? Your arrows? Was that you with the arrows?
I
You didn't.
tracked them, but that was not me.
Okay. Well,
I'm not the only warden that survived.
yeah. I mean, we met Deej. But I mean, they wiped the floor with us, man. Like, how am I supposed to protect this thing against like darkness warriors or whatever? I mean, like I got a family, man.
make me a I don't know. Make me a I don't know, performance.
Performance.
Yeah,
He's just asking questions.
I know, but like, I don't know. I think that that he's kind of like we all have families, you know. Like it should bestow in you a need to ensure that they're protected as well, because we don't do this for us. We do this for everyone.
Sounds like a lot of work.
I expect it will be, but you won't be alone.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't I be alone? Who's going to help me protect my family?
The other crystals are still out there and finding their way to the homes that they need to be received.
All right. So just so I'm clear. Like this is I'm honored, by the way. I don't want you to feel like I'm upset. I'm just confused, like deeply in my soul. But like you realize that like as it stands, like we're only going to really be able to stand up to folks who are weak against like warm, mildly intoxicating beverages and like math. Like we're just like they're playing for keeps, man. We're like they're playing for keeps and we're having funsies, like the kid's in school.
The child
probably hasn't even been to a dance yet.
The child will dance when it's time.
I don't know.
All of the children will dance, and they'll dance because you are more clever and more capable than you could dream. And if we were to send warriors, they would be able to see them. But the crystals will allow you to navigate this world and find the drakes wherever they may be. And it is not the strength of blade, but the keenness of your mind and the compassion that you all have that will allow you to be the heroes that you need to be.
Kind of sits down on the bed, like sits back up against the wall for support. It's like looking at the girthy crystal, and he's like, I guess. I mean, you can't. I mean, what I'm going to do, say no when you're going to come mess with my fireplace some more and haunt me or whatever. I don't. All right. Well, I mean, what am I supposed to even do? How do I know where to go? Or like, I took history class and I got a D+. So, like, what do you want me to do with this?
Once all of the crystals are in place, you will know. And
Where
there
is
will be...
place?
What's that?
Where is place? Where? I don't even know where place is.
Hold out your hand.
Holds out his hand.
The crystal is spinning in your hand. And he says, that is the place that crystal belongs.
Okay. So it's like a person vibe, not like a location vibe. All right. Okay.
When they've all found their place, they will lead you where we need you to go.
Okay. All right. Sure. Okay. Don't. All right. Okay. Do I have to like pretend to message my dad every time I need to talk to you, or can we have maybe like something a little bit more direct? Because it gets awkward to try to like cover it. Although I feel like I did a pretty good job with the message. Like I don't think that set anybody off, suspicious wise. So
yeah, he points to the crystal and says, "If you need me, I'll be there. And in the meantime, I'll be here." And he reaches out, and his kind of spectral form like touches your glass, and the glass kind of begins to kind of glow that same blue. And he says, "Take a sip."
He takes a sip. He is.
Always
going to do that.
You take a sip, and you have this instantaneous like flash forward of like the last 2 weeks of Terry going through doctoring your sending stone, like making sure that you are kind of set up where you need to be set up in your room, and kind of moving through. You see him working to track this large band of individuals that are kind of obfuscated from your sight, and you see a kind of another ranger figure with a beautiful bow kind of set up, and beginning to attack. Well, Terry is kind of ensuring that Kimmy is able to escape, and this is just like kind of rapid fire, like just flip, and you like finish kind of sipping, and like he's kind of standing there, and he says, "When you need, take a sip, and it will help give you even more clarity than your normal brew."
Okay, it's not going to do that every time though, because like I enjoy this. I spent a long time enchanting it. I'm attached to it. Do I have to like do I have to like want to for that to happen, or is this going to be like a weird trip every time I take a sip?
The crystal will will it if you are needing.
Okay. All right. That feels the right amount of ambiguous for this.
So basically, this is going to be a kind of roll, a percentage roll every time you can do it. You can do it up to once per day. As long as you have the crystal on you and your mug, you are kind of able to essentially ask a question, and you'll get some kind of answer.
Okay.
In these kind of visions. So if you want to put that on your sheet, that's a kind of once a day ability. Your magic cupogenensis.
All right. How big is the crystal, like size wise?
It's about the size of like a cork. Not very large.
Great.
Very similar in size to the one that Horton had.
Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. Great. Good. Cool. Good talk, I guess. Should I do anything to help the other crystals get home? Question mark. Or like just let it happen? I don't know. Are the other wardens secreting messages and shit for everybody else?
You'll know when the crystals are in place, and
God,
they'll set you on your way.
okay.
For someone who is so flexible, your mind is very static about this island. Perhaps another drink.
What? Yeah, he'll take another drink. I mean,
This time,
Pavlovian at this point.
you have like a much longer kind of flash, and this is basically the same flash of history that Horton experienced in terms of the moments at the falls, attempting to move through and kind of survive, and then kind of be out in the wilderness. You see him trekking across the continent, attempting to contact the other Drake Wardens, finding himself kind of deep in situations where you can tell that there is kind of mortal peril involved in his presence in certain portions of the continent. And then it like kind of begins to speed up faster and faster and faster until you get that like shock of the kind of last 2 weeks, and it kind of ends at the same time. And he says, I've been doing this a long time, and I've toured many corners of this world to attempt to understand what has happened. And now I realize that my duty falls in keeping Drakewind safe, and yours falls in ensuring its future.
Balls, I see what you did there.
Been waiting to use that. Inspiration this guy.
DM guy.
Just give yourself inspiration.
It's the first DM guy of Drakewind Falls. You're welcome.
Well, all right. Is that everything? That was a lot, So, also, I don't feel like I'm being static. I feel like I'm having an appropriate emotional response to some pretty earth-shattering new responsibilities, as well as revelations that came really quickly. I feel like I lived about 2 weeks in like 15 seconds or so. So, I'm still pretty flexible. I just, need a minute.
Take a minute, and then when you're ready, rest and wake with a new sense of purpose, Highland.
That's
because tomorrow is a whole new chapter for you. And if you were unable to shoulder this burden, I would not place it upon your shoulders. But your shoulders are broad. And then he's like, both figuratively and literally. And knowing your parents, you have been prepared for this your entire life.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Are
All
we
right.
done now? Oh,
So he says, we are. The fireplace kind of crackles back down to kind of a low flame, and he starts to kind of walk towards you and puts his hand on your shoulder and says, I'll be here when you need me. And then just like quickly like into a sending stone, and the sending stone like falls, and you grab it with your other hand, and you have the sending stone in one hand and the crystal kind of slowly rotating in your other hand.
Highland puts the sending stone back around his neck on the chain, and he drops the crystal into his mug, and then he goes downstairs to the bar. It's probably closed. Pours himself something a little stronger, and takes it back up, downs it, goes back upstairs, and tries to go to sleep.
All right. You are able to sleep similar to Horton. You have kind of replayed some of these things in your head. Some of the things that went by faster go by a little bit slower. Some of the events of kind of Terry's travels, you recognize him, kind of traversing the continent, being kind of in the kind of Northlands, and interacting in general with figures that you recognize from your hometown and the kind of entire kingdom of Dragonborn, and Minotaurs and Bekagul. You see him kind of in the Eastern Mountains that you've kind of heard about in school, and vaguely based on your performance, remember, kind of hearing a little bit more about the kind of Eastern range. You see him interacting with bird folk in Svantalia, which is the kind of suspended kind of aerial homes of the bird folk and Owlin and their kingdoms at the Eyrie. And you see him moving through the Wing Whisper Mountains, kind of on the outskirts, oftentimes not looking as kind of sterling as he was in the kind of vision. But you see him kind of circumnavigating all of these spaces, interacting with people along the way, searching, struggling, and doing his best kind of before that. You also get some inkling of a time before he became a Drakewind. You see kind of glimpses of him as young hatchling, and being told that his place in the academy was one of high standing amongst those that had the potential to be Drakewardens. And you get just a little glimpse of that, but you see him training very diligently to take up that potential mantle. And then the last thing that you see before you wake up is Lady Fanlin coming back in to the falls, and Terry and his fellow kind of potential warden champions being called to assist after the kind of loss of the previous wardens that worked hand in hand with Lady Fandlin. You wake up, you've taken a long rest. It's next morning for everybody. Horton, you realize that today is particularly interesting in that you will be kind of going in to your classes, and you'll be kind of touring the academy a bit to see some of the laboratories and other areas that you'll have access to this term that you didn't previously have access to. Becker, Fern, Highland, you are all at the beacon and awakened to the sounds of people kind of bustling about downstairs, and Ferdinand and vaguely accented Ferdinand speaking in tones below you. What's everybody feeling?
Do we know about each other's crystals?
The only one that you know about is Horton.
And we all know about Horton's.
You all know about Horton.
We were all there. Yeah.
But like now, I have one that none of the rest of you know about.
Mhm.
Highland has one that none of the rest of us know about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
How's
Highland,
Neil? Did Neil have a good night?
Oh, Neil is in the lap of luxury. I mean, Neil had one of the best, like most luxurious human-y dinners that he's had in quite some time, and he got to. I mean, I don't know how you treat Neil, but like Neil got
Neil
to sleep
slept in
on
my
the
bed.
bed.
We hung out. It was good.
Yeah.
We spooned.
So.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's
a big spoon though.
Neil,
He's very
Neil's
muscular.
having the time of his life. He's like real happy. Like he's got his person, and
Fuck, he's gonna not turn back into a Drake when I need him to. He's gonna be like, no, this is great. I love being a giant dog. It's the best.
Well, so here's the deal. This is not a like transformation. This is like a disguise. So
Yes, I know. I'm
the
just
look he may not want to, but I mean, we'll see, right? Part of it's on you, and we'll see how
garbage
much
rolls.
it's on him. Yeah. Right. So I mean, why don't you roll me percentiles, Fern? We'll see how the enchanting goes for this day.
I thought I had to do it every 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do it in the middle or in the morning, but the intimation from Doc is like before you go out might be good just to get the 24 hours in, so you're not like in public having to be like hocusy pocusy.
Okay.
Just in case it doesn't work.
That's a 19.
Great. Still looking a little blue. Maybe a little bit more blue than yesterday, but still doggo. All right. How are you guys getting your day started? Becker, Fern, Highland?
I mean, breakfast.
The normal filler up?
I mean, Highland's probably the last one to wake up. So
Yeah,
He's like
checks
had a
out.
night. That's fair.
So Becker and Fern, you head down for some breakfast. Ferdinand
Becker met
is.
Neil. Yeah, you were there when Neil came back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember where you were.
Have you met Neil? It's my favorite game.
Has anybody really met Neil?
That's
I mean, I have, but
I've never been to Neil.
Oh man. So you head down with Neil. Becker is seated at a table with the good. He's looking, man. He looks rested. You know, he looks like some of the weight of the world is off his shoulders after kind of volunteering to carry it for a while. And man, like, yeah, he looks real balanced.
Good.
Ferdinand comes over and is just like, "Hey, morning. Can I get you anything?"
I would love some breakfast.
Same.
2 filler ups, a little something for Neil.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
And please.
And and so you hear him walk, like you see him walk back, and then kind of as he's walking into the back, like 2 filler ups and a super special. And
Highland like comes down the stairs, and minor illusions sound coming from the kitchen, so it sounds more authentic.
and you hear the minor illusion like just like 2 filler ups and a super special. And Ferdinand kind of like looks back and is like, "Yeah, thanks, man." It's hard to do that accent all the time.
I know.
Got to keep up appearances.
You shouldn't have chosen such a demanding accent for your fake chef.
Yeah, me too. But
I appreciate your ambition, though. I like that about you.
we all got our burdens to bear.
Sure.
So he walks back and you see him kind of get. Before he goes, is it anything I get for you, Highland?
Yeah, I'll just have my usual.
Right. So he heads back, comes out with a big.
If you could just make me
lantern.
some toast for my pocket, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, he's when he comes back out, like he has he's really like done it up. Chef has done it up, right? Like he's got like toast that's kind of like fanned out, like all ready to go, like pre-ready pocket toast, like good for spreading jam on, also good for putting in the pocket. And so he comes back out with some jams and jellies, a little butter, little goat cheese, like just really like doing it up today. Like
Bird, all right.
Yeah.
My compliments to Bird and Ann.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Merdinand's doing a great job. I'm real proud. Didn't think so when I first hired him, but we're expanding here at the Beacon. We gotta keep the light on.
Helen, minor illusions. I heard that, and thank you.
You got it, Merdinand. Keep up the good work, man. That Merdinand, he works
so hard.
Yeah, so hard. But Fern Becker, you get like
weird that I never see you and Merdinand in the same place.
Yeah, well,
because he's definitely real.
He's allergic to the sun.
We're so busy.
Yeah, Yeah, he's real busy.
Yeah, on account of his alopecia or something.
Yeah. He's a vampire.
Oh no, my alopecia is flaring up again. I need to go on break.
Yeah, well, you took care of things. I'll look after it for a while. Don't even worry about Merdinand.
Okay, thank you. You are kind of boss.
You are a gentleman and a scholar. Well, not really. I mean, you're a chef.
I'm not a scholar. That is why I work in kitchen.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, all right. Happy.
His choice though.
Happy break.
Thank you.
You see he also like pulls out of his pocket like a big old like soup bone that he's used to kind of make the kind of broth for some of the filler up, and he kind of like on the sly kind of like tosses it down to Neil, and like, man, Neil's so pumped about this. Like this is like Doc ain't just no frills type of lady. She makes sure that he's well cared for, but not one for
Neil's really living his best
indulgence. Life. What's that?
Neil's really living his best life.
Yeah. So yeah, Becker, Fern, Highland, you're all set up. Anything you guys want to take care of together before starting the day?
Oh, I mean, Highland's gonna kind of look around, make sure nobody's around looking. He's gonna be like, "What I got?
I got one of those too."
And he like puts it back in his mug really quick. Like looks around. Like,
I'm gonna take mine out on its little like cord on my pendant.
Ooh,
show you. Yeah.
Wow, that's 3 of us. Becker, where's yours, man? You don't get one?
Don't have one.
Let's just say, like, feel like it's coming. Get ready.
Yeah, it's probably gonna have some. Did you have any weird fireplace shit when you got yours, Fern? I
I
got.
did not. No.
Okay, all right. Well, that was just me. I feel a little special now. That's good. No, I mean, I'm sure that it's meant to be for you as well.
Or maybe you have to be like wizardy to get one.
I'm not a wizard.
I'm not a wizard. I have a hat, but it's
He does have a hat.
Nothing
it's more sentimental.
Than a hat.
I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Is yours really electric-y? Mine's really electric-y.
Nope.
Oh.
No.
What's yours do?
It spins around and gives me weird visions.
Oh. Mine doesn't do that.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes.
You sure that's not the Genesis?
it's not. Thank you. That's not my particular brand of Genesis, and honestly, my tolerance is so high at this point that
Fair.
it's like trying to get drunk
True.
on 0.2 beer. Just ain't gonna happen. But no, it's definitely like a weird visions thing because they're not like about me. Like usually when I dream, like I'm the star of the dream. How it is. I don't know if you dream that way. I don't know how you dream. I don't want to assume that about you, that you dream at all, actually. But yeah, they were all about Terry and stuff. So Terry gave it to me. Terry, in fact, is the Drakewind. Gave it to me
All right.
as a force ghost.
What's a Drake Warden?
Oh yeah, that's right. You didn't go to school here. Drake Wardens. Back before the falls were kind of what the falls are now, they were super secret. They were behind this like magic barrier that nobody could get through, and folks didn't really know about it. They said it was for protection, stuff like that. And I guess they're maybe riding away.
I'm gonna take Neil outside. He's got to go to the bathroom.
You got a shit.
All right, Fern and Neil head out.
Right, pick it up.
Oh, so they were the ones like Fletcher who had the big betrayal and got stabbed in the back. Those are the Drake Wardens?
Yeah, that is a weird gap in your knowledge. That you knew everything but the name. That's cool. I mean, it's cool. Like it's fun to learn how people learn things. I like it. I like you. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's that. That's the final piece of the puzzle for you, buddy.
All right.
So
do you get a dragon with the crystal?
Just sneezed real loud.
not to start. Maybe there's an installment plan later. I'm supposed to find one. That's kind of why I got it. So,
All right.
kind of, but it's more of a self-made thing than like I just get one. Like I don't have one right now, but maybe.
I mean, Horton doesn't have a dragon either, so
Well, you don't know that.
I don't think
Horton might have a dragon.
I mean, he could. I don't know where he would keep it.
You know, Virginia's got some secrets. She's probably got a dragon somewhere.
She probably is a dragon.
Dragon.
Probably give him a dragon when he's like finally out of school a long time. That's why she's so upset about him being late to class. Probably, like I can't fulfill your destiny until you can be punctual, Horton. That's the final.
If you can't get to class on time, how are you supposed to take care of a whole
like weird legendary magic's always got weird like steps that have to be followed, or like events that need to happen, and it's like you got to be on time, and you just can't yet. I mean, it's been one day. that's not fair to Horton. He almost got murdered.
I can't tell you how many dwarves travel in packs of 7. It's ridiculous. Specifically for that reason. With prophecy and legacy. Like
sure. Okay. I mean, that's cool. Like, that's fun. That's good. It's good dwarf lore. I like that.
Dwarf lore.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll probably get one. I'm sure it wasn't some sort of mistake that they grouped you in with us. And,
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it either. I just try to make you feel better.
Well, I appreciate that, but I feel fine.
Sure.
There's no.
Okay. It's good. Are you gonna eat that toast? Because I could just put it in my pocket if you're not gonna eat it.
No, I mean, I'm gonna eat it.
Okay. No, that's fair. It's fine. It's fine.
Just
Highland
gonna be
thinks
like
I would.
big thick layer of jam across it.
You think that would stop me from putting it in my pocket? Got another thing.
I mean, toast is the dessert of breakfast.
No.
That's profound.
Well, it's kind of profound. I mean, do you know you can just have cake for breakfast?
No one will stop you.
It's true.
Yeah. So, but I like that. I like toast is the. I'll tell Ferd about it. Maybe he'll
Toast
like
and jam.
he'll get a kick out of it. He'll get a kick.
Where are you going?
You look really balanced, Becker. Like between your work and your life, it just feels like there's a good vibe there. Is that new? Is it?
Where are you going?
Yep, it is certainly a condition I am unaccustomed to.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Hopefully you get accustomed to it.
Seriously.
I hope you get accustomed.
Having trouble interacting with Neil outside. Too much electricity.
Failing that animal handling.
I did.
Like, I thought that the crystal would change the taste of this, but it doesn't at all. Actually, it's flavorless.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you need, like, I could always make like a little shoulder harness thing for you, like I did for Horton.
Highland kind of looks like he's not interested in more clothing. He's like, I made this actually with my own hands and magic and stuff. So it's pretty solid actually as a vessel, but I appreciate it and I appreciate you.
No problem. I just figured, like that's space that could be filled with Genensis.
I mean, it is. This never goes down in volume. Like it actually doesn't spill. He like turns it upside down and it doesn't spill, like unless I want it to. So like, I mean, but even if I did and he like spills it and it's just full, like it's not a problem. But like this was my capstone project for graduation. It's actually the only reason I graduated was because I made this. Can you believe it?
That's handy. That's a good piece of work.
Mm-hmm. No, I thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of time on it, but the one you made for Wardens Nest.
Would you be able to make one of those that's like beer?
Yeah. I mean,
beer?
yeah, I could do it. It would probably take a while, but less time because I know how to do it now. Yeah, I could do it.
I mean, there's probably a market for that.
Do you have a thingy that lets you do your magic? This is the thingy that lets me do my magic too. So, like, I could make that part of it if you wanted.
I mean, I've got a holy symbol, but
sure. I mean, I mean, yeah. If you like that, that's cool. I'm fine being the world's only mug-based edition. So, like I'm happy to shoulder that burden on my own. I'm learning a lot about shouldering burdens these days, and So, but yeah, I could make you one. Sure. Would you want
no,
it? Do you want like a mug? Do you want like
No,
a
I was
stein?
just saying, like, there's probably, I mean, a lot of people drink. There's probably a market. Like, if you wanted to go into business, you could probably make always full beer mugs.
I mean, I could, but I mean, it takes me a really long time. I'd have to charge like a ridiculous amount of money for it to be worth anything. So,
Plenty of alcoholics.
yeah, I don't know that I really want to like. Sorry to invoke your name, stoke the fires of alcoholism amongst the populace, but something to think about. Though I'll put that in my cup and drink it. You know.
All right, so Highland, you take a sip, and when you take a sip,
God damn it,
you have this flash, and you God damn it. He's the king of the universe. And you have this flash, and you hear Terry's voice, and they say, "Find Horton and flee. The Dragoon have breached the falls." Fern, outside,
Oh no.
magical darkness starts to creep in, and your sending stone just like starts kind of radiating, screaming,
That's fair.
saying, "Find Horton now and make sure it's safe."
Okay.
Becker,
I'm gonna bust in the door and I'm gonna be like, we gotta find Horton now.
I know. I got it on my Chris Becker. You got to get one of these, and then.
Becker,
Like when everybody gets an Amber Alert
through the
except
open
you.
door, right past Fern's ear, literally like inches away, an arrow comes and pierces you in the shoulder, right between your kind of piecemeal, and the darkness starts to creep into the beacon. And Ferdinand behind the bar like runs over and like pulls one of his bottles, and you see that there is like a portcullis that like crashes down the kind of like front of the door, and through each of the kind of spaces, this darkness kind of starts to creep in, the same darkness that you experienced previously. And he says, "Get out the back way. Me and Murdenan got this." And you see a spectral vision of, which essentially looks like Ferdinand, but with a really good mustache, comes out and stands next to him. And this like spectral kind of doppelganger is holding a pan in one hand and a knife in the other. And that's where we'll end this episode of Drakewind Falls. So, while we enjoy that, let's go around. Tell everybody where you can find it. You can find us back here in 2 weeks. Actually, no. Aha, we're switching. Just kidding.
Week.
You can find us here next week because the action's so hot. We needed to come back next week. The 7th, we'll be back here, twitch.tv/known world united. But let's go around the horn. Tell the folks where they can see you and where they can find you on the social medias.
All right. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Cubicle Zombie. You can also find me on May 9th on this very channel, which I suppose is after this next Drakewind Falls game. So I'll just say this next week too. You can find me in Warrior and Down in Outlands playing some wonderful, wonderful children.
Definitely little, definitely not shitty.
Look at me. Hi, I'm big now. You can find me on the socials at WarriorMN when I'm not here. You can find me at the Free Forge Discord. It's discord.gg/thefreeforge. There is a great show every Wednesday called Stay Alive that I recommend checking out, 7:30 on their Twitch channel. And also we have a charity event coming up. So mid-May, stay tuned. There will be a few things that I'm a part of, and there'll be a lot of things that a lot of very cool people are part of. Announcements are coming out now, but check it out, mid-May.
Again, I'm Christy. You can find me on Twitter at Lady Christy and on Instagram at Lady Christy K. where I post pictures of my cat and things I have baked. That's pretty much what it is. So you know what you're getting content-wise.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I'm not mad about it. It's just that's what it is.
You can find me and stuff that I draw on paint on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, maybe, at Finger Twitchings. You can also find my book Party Starters on the Apple Books platform or Drives Through RPG.
And as always, I'm your Drakewind James. You can find me on Twitter at HueyBeardWalks, on Instagram as Up Your Architecture. As always, follow us here. Every other Saturday, we'll be back May 7th for more Drakewind Falls. You can follow us on Twitter at Known World United and at Drakewind, and catch up with us on Facebook at facebook.com/Known World United. Also, Known World United is gamers and friends united to raise funds for Gillette Children's Specialty Healthcare through Extra Life and all donations, super chats, subscriptions to this channel. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, you can go to extra-life.org and join us back here every other Saturday. We'll be back May 7th playing in the Drakewind Falls setting, which we created using Microscope, created by Ben Robbins. Check him out at LameMage on Twitter or lamemage.com for Microscope and more of his amazing games. And we'll be right back after this for a quick little ditty in Behind the Falls. We'll see you soon. Oh, hello there.
Hi. I saw you
welcome
there.
back. We didn't see you. Now everybody's in the wrong place. So because you control
Wrong place. It's just different. It's okay to be different.
How's everybody doing? We're finally kind of getting back together slowly but surely, but lots
We're all
of
going to get murdered by darkness ninjas.
Oh,
Except Horton. Horton's in school.
yeah.
So we gotta go find him so he can also get murdered by darkness.
Yeah, right. We better go get Horton. 'Cause
Like if he
he's-
just stayed at school with grandmother, he'd be fine. But
it's debatable.
Late day 1 yanked out early day 2. Grandma will not be happy.
Not happy.
But on the bright side, he's not dead then.
That's true. That is true. That we could do. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Just dead to her.
And to everyone else. Womp womp. I thought we could do just a short after show today, since we kind of left on a cliffhanger, and there's more to come that may gain some perspective over the next couple of episodes. But some big conversations tonight. Horton finally sleeping, very big.
Good times.
Huge.
Last couple episodes have been heavy on Horton, and I felt like maybe Horton could take a little nappy poo and recover a bit, because when you add Nate rolls plus Horton's luck, it's been
Disadvantages bad times.
a rough one. So yeah, I don't know, maybe we could go around the horn. Any questions, feelings, intuitions from that episode 7, part 6 of whatever happened to the Drake Wardens of Tomorrow?
So about the dreams and visions that Highland and Horton are having.
Yeah.
does the greater populace know about what exactly happened with the betrayal? Like, do they know all the people that were there, or just Lady Fandolin?
No, in fact, a lot of this happened pretty quickly. For everybody that hadn't watched the Extra Life episode, highly recommend. I'll put the link in the chat ski. But it is, I think, one of the kind of biggest question marks is that people knew that the beacon was not relit. People know that there was kind of betrayal, and that Wardens died, and others that were these kind of young champions were lost. But there isn't kind of pervasive knowledge about exactly what happened. So especially 50 years later, there's a lot of questions about what happened, and exactly who is responsible. There's a lot of things going on in the world, as I'm slowly getting to, and hopefully by the end of May, we'll have kind of everything updated, and people can view our entire kind of microscope pieces, some of the public pieces on Drakewind.academy. But for the time being, it's something that some people have knowledge of, similar to Fern's question about Nico. There's people that do know and would seek out that knowledge or more information. And then there's others that it's wasn't part, for like Becker, right? Like, what's a Drake Warden? Like, he knows who Fletcher is, but it's not necessarily kind of common knowledge, everything that transpired. So yeah, very, very much Horton and Highland probably have more insight than a large percentage of the populace of the Falls.
Okay.
Other questions, thoughts?
Muted. I was muted.
Highland's like, I'm cool, man.
I'm cool, man. Is Highland's crystal blue or is it white? Because I'm curious, because it could be anything, but like Terry's crystal was white.
Yeah, the kind of energy and like the fire was blue, but the crystal,
gotcha,
like when it cools, is white.
It's white.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That was more the magic that I was using, like, that was in my mind, that he was using to
that was the
manufacture.
That was the Q2 FX budget.
Is Horton's?
It was it was
a particular color.
What's that?
Horton's is green.
Horton's crystal in particular? It's green.
Yeah.
Okay,
Horton's is Deej's.
That's what I thought.
And Highland, the one Highland has is Terry's.
Right.
And yours is definitely Lady Fandlin's.
Right.
Definitely not just terrible. Anyway, good question.
I really liked the I really like how Murdenan got fleshed out this episode.
That's good times.
I enjoy it.
Murdenan needs to he needs to have more life, and I like the idea that Ferdinand would have like somehow managed to be like, oh, like I need to make it feel like bigger. So it's not just him talking to himself, but it's actually like some sort of combination of he and Highland's understanding that like the beacon, in order to grow, like needs to feel like it's bigger, and like if it's not just Ferdinand back there ham fisting some soft medium roll sandwiches, that it's a
hard bread on soft bread. Hard bread on soft bread. It's done. Special.
Nailed it.
Bang it out. Done.
I can't wait for the day that we actually meet real Murdnand and we all feel like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, it's based on a good friend of mine. That's funny. Oop.
I imagine that, like, when I liked the spectral Murdnan, I was envisioning that the beacon has various topiary made out of like old armor and weapons and stuff that you can like activate. And they become like sentinels that security.
It's like when McGonagall like activates all the suits of armor and they like jump down off of the walls. Yeah, most definitely. For everybody that's in the chat, the link to the Dying Embers of Drakewind Falls was our D&D 5e adventure that kind of kicked all this off. One of the things I was really interested in running over Extra Life was diving into some of the things from Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, and they had put out prior to the release, which happened just like right before Extra Life, they put out the Drakewarden Ranger, which was a subclass, a new Ranger subclass tied into Fizban's. And so we played with everybody having the requirement that they had to have at least a number of Drakewarden Ranger levels. And so the kind of outspinning of all of this was us kind of saying this was great, the five of us playing together, and we really wanted to pursue it in some fashion. So had an opportunity to jump 50 years in the future and populate this entire world together, as we said, kind of using the Microscope game, which can be played as a role-playing game, or it can be used to create settings, as we've done in the Known World United a couple times now, and it's been a pretty big treat. It was a lot of fun. If you enjoy the four of these brilliant minds, imagine kind of creating a world with them. I'm hoping that we'll have more content to be able to kind of show off some of that. Certainly the mapping that Warrior's done and everything else. It's been a real treat to kind of see and bring some of these things into existence. But yeah. Becker, Fern, how was your experience tonight? Any questions or thoughts?
I'm just glad that poor Fern finally got some dinner. Poor thing.
Well-deserved dinner too.
She hadn't eaten since morning filler up.
I mean,
bookended the day with the filler up.
It is a testament to the robustness of the filler up, though. You know, I mean,
it truly is. I went on a wild dragon ride and met a magic lady. Like that first bowl of filler up got me through the day.
Yeah. Also, I love that your sweet boy got like a little treat ski, you know, a little meat ski.
Indeed.
That's
so good. Also, this Bronx figure is like so beautiful. I'm so happy with it.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and Becker, I mean, work-life balance, yes. Haven't gotten a crystal, bummer.
Totally fine.
Got shot, that's cool.
Kind of not open.
Getting shot's pretty dope.
Impressed.
You don't have a crystal, but you did get shot in the arm.
The on-brand rolling for perception,
That was nice.
which is one of my it's like +6. Like it,
and it's a hallmark of this character to have rolled poorly for perception, which is like,
yeah,
you know, impressive.
It's fun to get to know your character through their roles.
Yeah.
Like no matter how I manage this, I will still roll poorly.
I was like, oh, good perception. I've got a shot at the nope.
Yeah.
Oh, I get to roll perception again. It won't happen. Nope, it happened twice in a row. Oh, I get a third chance. Well, this is. Oh, okay. Nope.
No.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
Through play, you find out.
It's a joke I basically make for Nate. It's funny in general, but yeah, there's nothing like a 22-year-old callback.
Hey, that's a good callback. I mean, it's funny because through play, you end up finding out what you should have made yourself proficient in. Versus what you are. Like Akko cannot roll bad insight, and I think it baffles King to no end because he's got like a -1 insight. I don't think he's ever rolled below. He's never rolled below like 15. It's just ridiculous.
He's very insightful.
Amazing.
It's very insightful. It's dumb little Noel.
It's always good when you have a character that has like a lot of skills but can't roll them for shit, but can roll like the one random. Like we have a character, and we play with like always having like somebody who's running survival checks and somebody who's mapping and like somebody, and I have this one character who is like straight garbage at all of the things she's supposed to be good at, but can like roll a survival roll like nobody's business with her +0. It's absurd.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, do this like magic thing that you have a +7 at? Fuck you, here's a 1. Can you tell if you can get through this swamp even though you have no like nature training whatsoever?
Love it. Yeah, I'm super interested to kind of see where it goes. I've been doing a lot of reading and thinking a lot about this kind of like process of what the crystals are as well. Trying to kind of mine from our microscope session and tie it back into some of the lore, but also thinking about everything that's come out of the latest books and publications. There's just some like amazing things, and Fizban's for anybody that hasn't checked out Fizban's Guide to Dragons, it's just phenomenal. It's such great lore. I mean, outside of getting a new Dragonlance book, which we're going to get, it is for someone who kind of grew up being big on fantasy and like Arthurian stuff, like dragons, oops all dragons. When they were like, hey, oops all dragons book, and I was like, that's the one I want, give me that one. You should give me like 4 of those, give me one every year, more dragons please. There's a lot of really cool stuff, so I'm hoping that if everybody survives, or for who survives, until we are finding some of these creatures out in the world, it'll be really fun. I mean, I've never had an opportunity to really like DM in a space like this. Like, I feel like our world for our previous campaign was maybe a little less high fantasy and a little bit more kind of mixed, like hard-boiled, than kind of like lots of dragons and knights and this and that. And I feel like there's a bit of whimsy to Drakewind and the setting that allows for a really like strong diversity of like locales and things like that. What were you saying?
I was gonna say just like a little tiny bit of whimsy.
Un poquito.
Through the process of elimination, do we feel like the crystal that Becker is about to get eventually
maybe
is Fletcher's? Because is that the only Drake Warden we haven't accounted for yet? OG?
Becker has met Fletcher, correct?
Not really. I've worked at a camp that he passed through.
Okay.
Like, I'm aware of who he is.
Yeah.
I've worked with the Green Rangers, which he's kind of a central figure in that.
Yeah.
But no direct contact.
Yeah.
Because just like I have Lady Fanlin's, we've got Terry's, we've got Deej's, and was Fletcher the only other warden in that original adventure?
There were 5.
Nate, who is the other Drake Warden?
Oh, that would be Tannis with his dragon lance.
Okay.
So dumb. I love it.
It's fine. It's fine.
I thought you were playing a Drake Warden. I couldn't remember which one. And I was like, wait a minute, there's another one.
This is a very like Thanos, like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Moment right now.
Which dragon was Deej?
Deej. What's that?
Black dragon.
Oh, it was
right?
Black Dragon. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a black dragon.
Acid.
Fanlin's was blue, and Terry's was white,
Mm-hmm.
and Lance
Fletcher's
was brass.
was red. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Fletcher was green.
Yeah. So Fletcher was poison. Kimmy was acid.
Okay.
And then so on and so forth. I very intentionally did not want in this, especially in the kind of early parts, I didn't want all of you to like get your direct like
Right.
connection, and I also didn't want everybody to get a crystal, like just like, oh, here's all the crystals, gang.
Oops, all crystals. Everyone loves
Yeah,
it.
oops, all crystals. Hey, it's Mitch. Hope the dragon Lance has blonde bangs. Everyone half their face. I don't know. I don't remember what Lance looked like. It's so funny, like that. It seems like that, like that episode was so robust, but I think there's just so much that's been tied to it with the microscope that it's funny
Yeah.
to see, like how much of a life some of those characters that we only really spent like 3.5 hours with, like how much they've taken on, and how much it's been really fun to see, like getting to play with some of those characters again. Obviously, with checking in with y'all about kind of where you saw them going and what happened in the 50 years that's ensuing. It's fun to be able to kind of sprinkle that into the conversation and see kind of where like where people are and how they might react to all of this with your new characters, because it's definitely been fun. Sometimes I always have to question when you're DMing and like you are sitting at a table, you can like kind of focus in on one person, but when you're doing this and you're kind of like looking at like the room, it's sometimes like very disorienting. Like you catch like everybody's reaction, but it's like simultaneous for me. And so even though I'm like trying to kind of like zero in on the person that I'm talking to, occasionally like somebody will like, you'll get like a wide-eyed look. You'll get like a classic warrior like, which is always when I tried to catch things for D&D, it was always Nate laughing as he does, right? Flashing that $1 million smile. It was Ryan and Joel like both like, whoa, and usually Joel with like a smirk like, I think I know what's happening and it's not happening to me because that's not what my character does. And then mostly like, Dan and Boone was just kind of, generally if they are like, yes, if heads up, thumbs up.
Home run!
Yeah. But yeah, it's good. I don't want to kind of belabor it. I think there's a lot of fun stuff. At least I really enjoyed everybody's reactions to some of the things I've been like really trying to think about a lot lately and kind of flesh out. Because really this kind of first arc of kind of whatever happened to the Drakewind of tomorrow is like setting the table. I mean, this is like the prologue in a lot of ways, or at least that's the way I've been structuring it, or kind of playing kind of the reactions by ear. That really, I think that hopefully this sets us up in the world to have this big adventure. And hopefully, I mean, we talked before we started, and for everybody that watched, we've kind of thought about what this is and how long it runs, and what is a arc, and kind of how do we manage that. And I've been thinking a lot about trying to make an arc that would bring us to Extra Life in November. And so I'm hoping that kind of between the prologue and this kind of big arc, or possibly two arcs, we're able to have a big hootenanny in November, and bring some of the awesome folks that watch and they're part of this channel and part of Heel Turn and part of Dave's channel, in Mitch and Shaggy and everybody that's been watching tonight. So yeah. Any questions about that, or any parting thoughts, ponderings for next week, which we will be back May 7th. I lied. We lied. It's a lie. We'll be back May 7th because we love you. And then we'll be back on the 21st. We'll kind of we're switching it up a little bit to accommodate for some big life events. What? No?
Well, I mean, like my wedding anniversary.
It's your wedding anniversary. It's going to be Nate's birthday. These are all things that we love and care about. Like, fucking birthday gift for Nate. It has nothing to do with your anniversary. Stuff your anniversary. We don't care. Go have some food or whatever with the antagonizer. Nate deserves D&D for his birthday, and God damn it, we're going to give it to him.
Sounds great.
So we'll be back on May 7th. Follow all of our lovely people. Oh, there's some Nates. There's some Ryans. Some Christies. Don't follow her, though. She's just worried about her anniversary. And then there's some Joels. You can find me here. You can find us here, and you can check out Ben Robbins, Microscope, Lame Mage on Twitter, and lamemage.com. As always, follow Known World Unite on Twitter for updates, as well as Drakewind. And check us out here every other Saturday. Down in Outlands every other Monday. Every Thursday, Bad at Games with your King Ginger. And Sunday, check out Prep School, where King and a rotating cast of players and DMs pop in to talk about what makes games great and how we can all kind of play and run better games with our friends. So also extra-life.org. Check us out. You can search for Known World United. You can search at any of our sort of names. Donate, subscribe, follow for updates on when we're going to be running, and have a lovely night from Drakewind Falls. Bye-bye. Oh, and then I realized I'm going to just show the in 2 weeks. Sorry. We'll be back May 7th.